You're Sasquatch. You're super strong and super strong.
It's just like it's bad to happen.
If you don't like seeing yourself, I can make it smaller. Oh yeah. We're a little dry. Yeah. I can shake your hands. If you want to shake your hand. Cool. Oh, yay. All right. We need lots of Oh man! I think you were down. You were actually down. Missy's coming back, right? Missy? Yeah, we've been trying. Even the kids are growing. I just I'm very sorry. I'm just like I'm rattling. I didn't feel the pool. Go to the pool. Are you guys seeing Toby? No, I think I supposed to do that. So oh yeah, you're not. Because yeah, I like the Toby. Yeah. Well, yeah, guys. I loved it. I did. Bye, guys. Have fun. Thank you. Sorry. Yes.
There you go. Say on the lead. No.
Yeah. Like every time.
Yes. That's not good.
What's that you plan on doing? You're on the other side.
Yes. I'm listening to the other.
We contemplated. I'm watching our TV with people meet with you guys. A couple times in theory.
Yeah, I know, that was so
Why are they you said the thing?
We tried to auction it off, but when Dave was here, he, I think he tuned it for us. And we wouldn't go to Stop the door, keep them going far. Well, they feel like you go speaking about, like, you know, kind of an actress, right? Like, I mean, that's
I think that's really cool, like, say, like, we don't have that. No.
I know, likewise.
Is this your council, like, regular, like, chambers here, or, okay?
Yeah.
It's open.
We ate some pie. We did this on the other side.
They go in like
Like pie, huh?
Okay. You can't get yelled at all the time. She's talking about Yeah, no. You're doing your journalist thing, that's great. I do some of that sometimes too.
Okay, I was gonna do that.
Where are you from?
So I'm from International Falls, Minnesota, so the Canadian border, tiny little town, coldest place in America. Called the Icebox Station, it's actually our name. Yeah, we have like a little jet stream that comes down like 50 or 60 kilometers. Oh, okay.
So you're Dana?
Yeah, I'm.
I'm gonna take my camera towards you ladies.
Oh, no, that's good.
Or you can go.
Yes.
Okay.
Let the community see you. Let's see your pretty faces.
Welcome, hi. I guess I can introduce myself first. My name is Sarah. Members of the tribe, we're part of a women's drum group, Maui Down in everything. We've been together for about 10 years now. This is some of our group. Melissa, Julie, and Kate and Anna. We were invited here to work, so I'd like to drum the gathering song for you.
And that is Cohen. Nuts, which, I get the beat too, Sam.
Those are my greeters, right?
Yes.
Okay. haven't refilled it because it's a lot of coffee. I'm already like,
Lots of Spanish and English. Thank you. It's really beautiful. It's really nice to hear music. I really like it. It's very cool to see other cultures and how you guys are all together. I love seeing other cultures strong and all that. So I'm in Chennai, First Nation. That's where I enrolled. I started across the border, so I'm on the border, it's across the border. But then my family's from all over, basically Anishinaabe people, so total. So yeah, so my mom's my dad's Mexican, and then I've got like San Diego, white, every kind of you can imagine. Yeah, I've been hearing that, like it's kind of, yeah, we've got a lot of the same family last names in pretty much every tribe, so. And on both sides. I heard that you guys are on both sides of the border.
Yeah, there's 28 tribes across the border.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I can see cameras in my front yard is probably, just like Sarah Palin can see my front yard, I can see Canada from my yard.
so, what can you tell us about her?
Oh, jeez. I can tell you, I was telling her kind of why I support him and why I'm kind of in my, I'm a volunteer. Hundreds of legal hours of working on his platform and hundreds of hours of helping the American voice heard. The reason that I've done that is I actually was a voice before. And got a call because I do a lot of environmental justice work. My other hat that I was at my actual job is I'm a director for Volunteer. It's an environmental justice organization. I'm my boss. And she says like the campaign is far away. She's like the Bernie campaign far away, but she's still there. Don't worry. So through that work, I got asked to introduce the Keep Underground bill with Sanders, who's on the Hill. It's a bill that bans fossil fuel extraction on public lands, which are often right next to state lands. And they were like, oh, well, we should probably include his voice. And they're like, hey, can you go over and talk? And I was like, sure, I guess, you know. And then saw him and met him, and I was like, okay, cool, this is a guy. Like, and he is what you expect him to be, you know. He's like very kind. He did a great job at the end. I'm like, yeah, it was Bernie. But still was like, you know, I at that point was still very much a Bernie supporter. And what changed my mind was kind of the outreach I saw from his office. I've been a lobbyist in Capitol now for a couple of years with tribes, so there's a lot of different Senate and congressional offices and kind of. I've seen some good ones, I've seen some really bad ones.
Yeah.
His was incredible. Like for an office that has no presidency, it was amazing. Like I mean, so much outreach, so much like how does this work? What can we do to help? What changed my mind my moment was sitting in a meeting where they were doing this environmental like overhaul, and a lot of people were implicated. Obviously, our communities are impacted by this project and some others. And in the meeting, they had an African American, Latino representative, Asian American, and like we were all there. And first of all, that's something in itself you don't see officers do that very often, ever. But then it was also, here's the legislation, let's go through it line by line, what do you want in this? And that's what we do. And I've never seen the Senate office do that, like, ever. It was very genuine to me and very, it just changed my whole perspective. I was like, wow, this guy really actually wants to hear what we have to say, he wants to include it in what he's introducing to Congress. Like, that's very inspiring to see. And I started looking back at his record and I was like, this guy's like for real, you know what I mean? Like he's never changed his position in the years and years he's been on the Hill. And once he started becoming a presidential candidate and getting involved with written issues, it was like, okay, we're going to meet with the people from San Carlos Apache, we're going to introduce the Oak Flat Act the next day, you know, to save their sacred site. I mean, it's just been incredible to see his outreach in the Indian community and changed my mind completely. And I'm like, all right.
What
So-
did you do for Hillary?
What's that?
Before you became a Bernie fan, what made you support this? Or was it just you was from a candidate?
No, I voted for Hillary in 2008. I thought that Hillary, you know, and if it comes down to it, I will vote for Hillary. If it's Hillary and Trump, I will vote for Hillary 100 times. I mean, that is where I will go. But it was, she's got a really, really big resume, right? I mean, she's been in almost every single avenue of government. She's been Secretary of State, you know, Senator. She's been Minister. She's been First Lady. She is progressive to the extent. I think she's a little bit more centrist. And when Bernie came along, I was like, I don't really know this person. I don't really know who he is. Like, he's been a Vermont senator. I don't know anything about him on a national level. He seems a little out there, you know. But then it was really looking at what their policies really are and seeing what they're really happening. His campaign being funded by people like us, donating $5, and her being funded by campaign like corporate sponsors and billionaires. Yeah, it's kind
She
of
has like 5 big Wall Street people funding her.
I've been saying this all day. I mean, from working on the Hill all these years, you know, I mean, first I just see why people burn out after a couple of years working on the Hill. It's depressing. It's really hard to see our congresspeople and know like where their campaign contributions come from and how they vote and what they introduce. I think that they should be like race car drivers and have to actually show who's donating the most money to them. I think that would make them accountable and they're not oh, you got a big donation from the Koch brothers. Now you're introducing legislation to start, you know, hydraulic fracturing, you know, like wherever it happens to be. And I'm like, that's a system that's not working and doesn't work for people. And I think we're very much for people. And that's why I'm
It doesn't bother you that Hillary was inconsistent. Like, I think she was anti-gay marriage until 2013, but now that she's going to run for president, she's conveniently, you know, pro-gay marriage. And
she's not as easy. I agree with that. Like, sure, her policies and her opinions, it seems like they take longer to reach, and it's more so like this is what we should do as a party versus like Bernie, who's like this is what I believe. You know, he's been pro-gay marriage the whole time, right? Like he's never changed on that. You're never going to see Hillary Clinton back engaging herself to, you know, people in an African American protest. It's never going to happen. Those pictures aren't going to surface. At the same time, like she's still, in terms of candidates, Democratic candidates that I originally thought, I was like, well, she's, you know, got a long record of advocating, and she does actually do some really great things, which one of my good friends actually works in the Department of State and told me kind of like what she was doing as secretary. I only knew about the Fugazi thing. Like, I didn't know anything else because that was like what dominated the media. She's a really bad PR.
I was gonna say she's kind of hidden in that, and I mean she's called a conspiracy theory. The email thing too.
Yeah.
But
she has a
she does have a bad PR
really,
team.
really bad PR team because some of the things I've learned about her record and what she's done in other countries, I'm like, why is that not in the news? Like that's incredible. Like incredible advocacy for women's rights, incredible advocacy for like, you know, people that have health issues and like always it's been impressive. You know, I don't think that she's as consistent as Bernie. I don't think she's as right line. He's not gonna buy into something. And whereas I think she'd be much more willing to compromise.
Do you think that some of Bernie's some of the policies in the legislature that he pushes through people consider to be somewhat radical, very progressive? Hillary is quite conservative on her like what she's doing. Still Democrat, obviously, but a very conservative Democrat. But Bernie's not only a Democrat, he's considered a radical. And how do you feel about that?
I view that as the fact that someone like that is a presidential candidate and actually a viable presidential candidate tells us where we are as a country. I think on the opposite side, we see Donald Trump, and that also tells us where we are as a country. I think that we've got two people that are moving in very different directions. You've got people of color being attacked at rallies for this man, and you know, then you got Bernie over here who's like, you know, got every radical leftist, you know, people that really care about people and want to change. And the fact that those two candidates are in the same race is, I think that speaks volumes about where we are as a country. I think if it was Bernie versus Trump, Bernie would win. I do think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, right? It is like, I really look at it like good and evil. Like Donald Trump is a bad person. Like,
Here the sun says that we're moving to Canada.
We're gonna go live with you for that.
oh, I'm First Nations. I've already been like, so what's about this paperwork that I have to fill out? And, I mean, I don't want to like bail on my country, but at the same time, oh my goodness, like that would just be so
Could you
bad.
imagine?
I can't.
I haven't found anybody that's gonna vote for Trump yet. I've been asking. Oh, okay, so what's the first one?
It was shaking.
Oh, I use so I'm actually, my family is not political at all. Like, I didn't get political until, yeah, no, I didn't get political until I went to college. At law school, actually, not even college. I didn't care, I didn't vote. I started getting very, very politically involved in law school once I realized how much politics really influence a lot of our communities. And yeah, became a lobbyist for tribes, you know, because I saw like tribes not getting a voice in Capitol and should have a voice. I use them as my gauge, like, of how things are going. Like at first, you know, oh yeah, Terry, you know, that guy, he says what he thinks, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, no, like, oh, please no. Like, you know, and now it's like, you know, he's a racist, and I'm like, yeah, I do know that, you know, and so I use them as my gauge. I'm like, if my mom gets it, I think that it's getting down to like the masses that this guy is like horrible. He still has a whole mess of people that show up for him now, and I'm hopeful. Democrats have a really bad track record of showing up and voting.
And I think that's why you're going around to meet like new communities, right? You're trying to drum up interest in people actually showing up to the caucus.
Yeah, I don't, you know, to be quite honest, like Bernie, Hillary, whoever you vote, I just want people to vote. You know what I mean? Like my experience with that, and it was right after my first year of law school. I went down to Arizona into like a master's program or whatever to get like an indigenous focus, and did like the native vote thing, right? Where you go out and go to the reservation, you're like a voting advocate. So tribal elections are going on at the same time, right? And then there's us, like the president of the United States, right? Tribal elections are having like this big party, like everyone's hanging out and talking. We're sitting over here just like they felt sorry for us and brought us some food. Like they're just like, hey girls, I know it's cold outside, like here's some food. And we're just like, oh my goodness, like you guys have to care, like this matters. The President of the United States decides a lot of policies. He directs the administration, and the administration is the BIA, who has full, very tight control over what we do. So I'm hoping that tribes will get more engaged, and I'm hoping that Bernie, even if he doesn't win, the fact that he's made Native Americans an important part gets people caring again. Like, we need to care.
As a lobbyist and having gone around trying to drum up interest in voting, what do you think would be the best way for, not just, you know, I mean, 4 years from now, tribal elections, what do you think would be the best way to get voters to actually vote for us? Because I think apathy is probably the biggest, thing that we have to get across. People don't think that their voice matters, so they don't bother.
I agree, and it is hard. It is hard to, I mean, even lobbying and being attorneys, it's hard to hear again that our voice is really, in the grand scheme of things, it's like, whatever. But I'm hoping that someone at this level engaging with Native communities, and I mean, in my home state of Minnesota, Bernie came and visited 9 tribal leaders in northern Minnesota 3 days before the election, 3 days before Super Tuesday. That's incredible. I mean, that's, to me, speaks so many volumes of like, here's a person that saw oppressed people, realized what was going on, and just was like, I'm in it. You know what I mean? Like, I could go out to a much bigger population in Colorado and go to this huge rally, but instead I'm gonna take the time to go to northern Minnesota and meet these, tribal leaders. And I'm hoping that this is like as revitalizing people, making them realize like, we haven't forgotten about you. You matter. The fact that he included Native Americans to write his Native policy, I mean, that says a lot, right? Like,
Our caucus is usually, so we here don't have reservations, we sort of sit within our community, and most of the Native tribes are certain state vote. Our caucus has
PO boxes, like, how is that possible? So someone I was talking to earlier today said they didn't have a PO box on the reservations. They got counted in like the surrounding communities, and I was like, what?
It depends where they live.
Yeah.
Like the people that live here at Lanier, they do have a PO box.
Okay.
Houska County is pretty big.
Okay,
We're the biggest county in the center.
okay.
Large area, not much of a population. So we're sort of spread out. There's 1,200 people roughly that are part of your significant events, but we have sort of pockets of
We're a cluster reservation, so what else is required?
About an hour in every direction.
Okay,
So our servicing members in the county, we have some 45 minutes away.
So part of our issue is getting, people, even if I'm both for tribal council members and tribal chief is, the location, the caucus tomorrow is possibly inaccessible to some people in the community. And, I'm gonna offer myself as, a ride to the caucus, but for us, that's a real issue. It's not only apathy, but also getting people there. And I can imagine on reservations there might be a central location, so it's easier for them to, go. But for a lot of Indian tribes particularly, that's an issue that I hope in the future somebody addresses, that, there's a caucus site that's more central to Native Americans.
I think that's something you want to yell at your own party about that, and yell at them, guys, telling them these are the right topics, just like everybody else. The situation you made sounds like pretty rough for tribes.
It's really rough.
Yes.
The settlement act is, it boggles my mind. Like, I've never seen something quite like that. I did know, I've worked with that before. I used to work with Strauss. And we actually used the main act as like, this is the worst case scenario of guiding the tribal
We're the
sovereignty.
worst. You understand how, the position that we're in?
I understand that everything has to go through pretty much the state and federal laws are implemented.
This will blow your mind because you're an attorney, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were recognized in 1991, but we're being held to an agreement that was made not by anybody in our tribe, and it was in 1980.
We were left off the 1980 Settlement Act,
So-
and they're now holding us to some of the policies that were written in that Settlement Act, even though we didn't become federally recognized until 1990. We were actually on the 1980.
So they backdate everything to 1980.
But if you weren't like a party to that, then how could you possibly agree? Because that
We're gonna be addressing that with the governor.
They have.
Due process.
There's a one line
Yeah.
that says further, or future tribes.
Yeah.
Oh, they actually wrote that in.
Yeah.
In the 1980s.
In the 1980s.
So, Congress has plenary authority, they can, make anybody agree to anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, for us to get federal recognition, we had to almost agree to that settlement. But in our act, it states that we're supposed to negotiate with the state of Maine, and those negotiations never take place.
You've heard about our governor, right?
Yeah, oh, I know about your governor. There's like the few like bad governors, like, there's like Scott Walker, there's LePage. I mean, these guys are like bad guys that are just like straight up like, yeah, this is who I am, like, I don't care. You're just one of them. You're just one of them, for sure. One thing I've been encouraging people, aside from the presidential campaign and whatever, so Bernie's now being in the spotlight and learning about Native issues and becoming like a champion, this needs to be talked about and including it at a high level. The way that the OPLAT Act happened was, he's not in Arizona, obviously, that's in Arizona. Not for his constituency at all, but Representative Grijalva was petitioned by by the St. Carlos people to introduce this legislation. He did it, and he went and talked to Bernie Sanders and told him about the situation. He met with, the St. Carlos delegation and then introduced the act. So he's still a senator. Keep that in mind. I mean, he's a senator, and he's a senator that's now become very specific to Native issues and is like on board completely. Like, these are oppressed people. I fight for oppressed people. So if you have a strong representative, that could be. He's still a senator, so.
A representative for Maine?
No. Bernie's
Nobody in Maine will help the tribes.
I thought what's her name?
Henry?
Is she supportive enough that she would talk to someone like Sanders about something like that?
I think the state likes us where we are.
Yeah, right.
So I don't see it happening. I don't see anything like that happening. Because right now they have exclusive jurisdiction over all the tribes in the state. So they don't want to deviate from that at all. I mean, we're in DC and we try to get a meeting with them and they didn't make time for us at all.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You know, they're required to do that. Like, that's part of our nation responsibility. That's part of trust
Oh,
responsibility. We
yeah.
have to meet with us.
Trust responsibility comes up in a long way, and that's what I'm curious. You know, most candidates, presidential candidates, the Native American nation problems are very lightly spoken on. And if they are spoken on, you know, the subcommittee or a Native American committee, and that's it. And so that I'm curious on your aspect, looking at Bernie Sanders, you know, regardless of whether he gets on or not, as a senator, you're saying that he would be, he's on board, and he would be president, he would still be on board.
I think so. I mean, you know, like I said, he's never changed, right? Like the things that he says he believes. He doesn't flip-flop. You know, the things he's been saying the same things for 30 years, right? Like, I'm gonna keep advocating for economic equality, I'm gonna keep advocating for environmental justice and all these things. He's never had Congress to support him, unfortunately, because they don't want those things to happen. But he has never changed once in like all of those years of being on the Hill and all those years as governor and as a leader and all those things. For him to take, I mean, the platform's not public, but for him to take very strong positions and take the recommendations and turn them into this is what I would do as president, I would not see him backing down from something that he says. That's kind of what Bernie Sanders is about. He's not changing his mind. I've seen other candidates so.
Oh,
She's a politician.
Have you ever watched one of those videos of Trump arguing against Trump?
Oh, yeah.
That's really fascinating, and that led me down like the rabbit hole of looking at historical footage of Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, because you know it's hard not to want to see Hillary become president simply because she's female. And it would be great. It would absolutely be great to see it, you know, become president. But looking at historical footage of the things she has said and done, I think she has, you know, developed a trust issue with the nation in general. And if you look at footage of Bernie Sanders in 1980, he's the same Bernie Sanders in 2016.
Yeah.
He might have calmed down even a little bit, as radical as like we like to tell ourselves he is now.
Oh, he was like,
he was really
I'm like Vermont people, and I mean, to me also that's like another thing, you know, Minnesota, we have a lot of straight state pride, right? Like we really do. Like we are very proudly blue and progressive and, you know, democratic, and that's, you know, it speaks volumes to me that he won, what was it, 80, almost 90% of the caucus in Vermont, and he's been a senator and a congressperson and a mayor and all those things for that long, and his people are completely behind him.
Yeah.
I mean, that says volumes, right? Of Hillary Clinton, I mean, I want to see her New York polls end. You know what I mean? She was a senator there, like, you know, do they support her? I'm interested to see that. You know, she did a lot of policies that probably weren't the best. And he's been advocating for a state for a really long time, and like, I mean, they're feeling the burn. I mean, if you watch the little where, you know, he had a Super Tuesday in Vermont, obviously he won a lot, and I mean, it was incredible to see people just, this is our guy, you know?
Something that I also found really interesting. So Sarah works in our domestic violence program, and so looking at, you know, has Hillary been a supporter? She has. There was a senator that recently, or I don't remember who it was, but it was somebody, might even been a House Speaker, that had been accused of being sexually inappropriate towards women, and Hillary went after him. But that's sort of like in the last few years, and historically she hasn't always been as strong an advocate for women as she should have been. And Bernie Sanders is, you know, just as far as Native American policies go, I know that he's supporting making it, like giving power back to Native communities if, you know, our people are sexually assaulted.
Oh yeah,
that really,
that's in favor of it.
Aside from, like, my number one was that he's so pro-veteran, he also is, you know, pro-woman pro giving power back to Native American communities and not having the government hold as much as they do. We're under the thumb of the state right now. And, you know, if you look at the statistics, a lot of white men get off from, and are never punished for sexually assaulting Native American women. And so that's really powerful to me that that was one of the policies that he's focused on. I just wondered if you touch on the issues that he's already tackling and what issues you think he should be tackling.
It's frustrating because so this platform is done, right? It's been done. It got submitted finally at like 5 a.m. on Sunday, like last Sunday, after hundreds and hundreds of hours of not just myself, lots of people putting in stuff, all of us trying to like approve it and review it, determine if that was the best thing, if that's the best way to go about it. I can say generally, kind of like from these past actions, and also from what I answered that campaign's vow is very strongly part of it. Giving tribal jurisdiction and tribal sovereignty is a key part of that. I mean, it really is. He has talked publicly about treaty rights, and he's talked publicly about like redressing some of that the past actions, which I think is I've never seen a candidate say that openly. They've never said the word redress or reparations, and he said those things. And then on the other side of it, I've been asked, how is he going to fund it? He's got all his promises, he's got free college, whatever, how's he going to pay for it? For our little platform, which is just, affecting 1% of the population, we had to work with their tax attorneys, like all these things to figure out where's this money going to come from. Because the president sets the budget. I mean, whether or not Congress funds it, that's one of our biggest problems, right? Is like Congress doesn't actually fund things the way they should. But there are mandates we put in place to say certain things have to be paid. And if you look at the federal budget and then you look at the little England budget, it's like the little hair. It's not even actually visible like in the actual pie chart. It's still not funded, what I mean? It's still like not, I don't think it's allocated in the right way. A lot of those funds are, for me, looking at IHS, right? There's 50 cents on the dollar sometimes. It's spent at the federal government to pay themselves. That's not okay. It's just simply not okay. And working with his tax attorneys to figure out, okay, well maybe we should take out some of this defense spending because there's a lot of waste that's occurring here that we don't need to do. And there are other, government programs that we don't need as much as we need. I mean, he's a social justice guy, right? Like, we should be taking care of the people that this is our country, right? Like, we should be taking care of the people that we said we wanted to. We're bounded by law. So,
do you think so he's been fighting for a $15 minimum wage. Do you think that should take precedence over funding things for community mental healthcare, reparations, redressing?
I haven't seen him do like prioritization, like not like that. No, if he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. Get it done. Otherwise, he wouldn't say it. So, I wouldn't see him prioritizing. He's going out and visiting Native communities, right? I mean, he doesn't have to do that at all. I don't see Hillary doing that. I don't see any of them doing that on the GOP side. And the fact that he is, even though we're such a small percentage of the vote, to me it shows he really does care.
He sees us.
Yes, he does see us. And now he knows about these issues. He's like, hey, like I'm a Jewish guy. I understand this. Like I get what you guys are. I like that part, right? You were saying like it's kind of cool to see someone that is from a really oppressed population, and that would be historic. Hillary would be historic. Woman would be historic. So the Jewish guy in the office would be historic too.
So does he have a plan to help the Settlement tribes make some of these laws that are being passed for Native Americans applicable in those states?
So I mean, in the platform itself, it's a national platform, so there's no specific language for specific tribes in it. That would be something where that's something I'll take back. Hope people, hope people say something about this.
I urge you to include the word restricted. That's exactly what it's saying.
That's what we call them, RSA, Restricted Settlement Act Tribes.
Okay.
As It's mostly,
Your
it's all, they're all in New
settlement
England,
Yeah.
all in New England tribes.
Yeah.
It's just another word for oppression, really. It's hard to have a voice when you
Yeah,
really
because
have
if
one on
Congress
the
passes a
cover.
law for Native Americans, it does not apply for the restricted settlement tribes.
And it seems like a total violation of Constitution.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Because there's like this concept, you know what I mean, like that's not how federal law and state
I
laws
think
work.
this is federal law that goes.
It preempts it, it's in the Constitution, like the law of preemption, so I don't really understand what's happening in the state of Maine, to be quite honest. Like, even if there is this legislation out there, like,
It's
How
because
can
the
they
tribes
choose?
agreed to it. It was a land claim settlement act, and they
Under
threw
the auspice,
jurisdiction.
that was the best deal at the time.
It was supposed to settle title to the land.
it just
not
seems fundamentally
jurisdiction.
unfair though, you know what I mean? It's,
Definitely.
Well, that's why
We
I'm
try living
kind
it.
of politics in general. I mean, how is it even legal for Donald Trump to be running as president? How is that even a possibility? It just, it makes me feel like we haven't gone anywhere in the last 7 generations. That we're still, there's a very big majority of the United States that is still 7 generations ago. So that's very sad.
oh, it's hurtful. To me, it actually is hurtful to
Oh,
watch.
yeah.
I don't watch this rally because it actually, it hurts me to see like those people that are backing someone that's openly racist. I mean, this is
at that.
yeah, I mean, oh, that, I've seen like the African American
Yes,
women that
the
were,
women.
I'm like, what, oh my goodness, that's so bad, like, that's so bad. It's
They're
like, you
like-
are the black friend, like, you
Yeah.
understand you're the black friend, like.
And then they're like, oh, his immigration, he wants to build a wall, but look at his construction corporation. How many illegal immigrants did he employ?
That's why I think, is it real? That's why it keeps coming in my head, I'm like, he's gonna become president, then he's gonna be like, okay, I'm just kidding anyway.
It's kind of embarrassing though
something,
too,
it
right?
just
Like, it's
doesn't
like, we have a
seem
presidential
real.
candidate that's like saying, like, I'm gonna build a wall, and you're like,
I don't think that, but he just hasn't been consistent over time. Usually when someone makes, some sort of big decision, you don't want him to say, oh, that was a mistake, I'm changing my mind now. And so that's what he's consistently done.
I'm waiting for him to change his mind in the same sentence.
Yeah.
I think that might happen,
That
like,
might-
I think it might
It's
happen.
good.
What, then
Yeah.
he's just gonna drop out?
No, that he,
Oh.
no, that he will change his
That's
mind,
what
like,
I'm
when he's
looking
talking
for.
about something in the same sentence, because sometimes he kind of talks all
Yeah.
over the place
Yeah.
without actually answering anything, and then he comes back to it, and you're like, is he gonna agree with what he said at the beginning?
Hillary can
Oh, I'm so
Hillary
rich.
can a very ambiguous speaker too. Though. It's almost like she will use very ambiguous language.
So
So that in the end, she isn't helped at anything. And, you know, she's got this role. So we call Bernie radical because he's willing to say,
Yeah.
you just cut and dry, this is what I think, this is what I'm gonna do. There's no ambiguity there. And it's really appealing because it's so transparent. You know, if tribal council, made the decision to start, streaming council meetings. Because it's transparency. Out there, they can see, you know, aside from the executive session, what's going on here, and every council member gets held to the things that they're saying and doing. And, you know, he's the only candidate that I've seen that's accountable for everything he's ever said. Consistently, over time, historically, like, this guy just seems genuine, crazy or not, he's real.
I don't think he's crazy. I mean, I think,
He's proposing things that so many countries have, it's not radical.
it's not radical, and I mean, he's proposing equality, right? It's like, we want to have equal treatment for all of our citizens, we want everyone to have an equal opportunity in the United States. We should be at that point. That's kind of like the whole idea, right?
That's crazy.
I will say, you know, in person, he's very much he's a very driven person, you know what I mean? Like, he will listen, and he's kind and all that, but he's very driven. And he does hear us, you know? It's, to meet with the St. Croix people and introduce legislation next day, he heard them, obviously. And it was actually kind of cool, because that was the same day I met him. So he got done meeting with them, and then he's like walking out, and then he sees me, and he's like, didn't know I was gonna be there, and he's like, and I was like, we're everywhere. And like, he's like, just like, like, there's Indians everywhere, like, and I'm like, yeah, we're all over, like. And yeah, I mean, he really is, I changed sides, you know, it really wasn't even, I can pinpoint the time, but it really was not a decision that it was light, and it was a pretty easy one to make for me. I was thinking about this today, actually, as we were driving around everywhere. I couldn't imagine actually going out now. That would be tough, because there'd be certain things where I don't agree with
right.
her. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
especially
She's
on
not Trump.
especially on her environmental platform, like some of the stuff I just don't agree with at all.
At the same time, she's not Trump. She's not. So, to the people that I've met today that have said, if Bernie's not getting it, I'm not voting, I'm like, please vote.
Yeah,
Please vote. I don't want to leave this country. Like,
I don't vote, and I'm voting. And I was just telling my girls today, actually, we were driving, and, how, you know, she's a lesser of two evils. If he has to drop out after the caucus, that, you know, that's where I would go. It's not where I wanna go.
she's significantly the lesser of two evils. I mean, as much as I'm like disappointed in Hillary, like as like, you know, a progressive, like I would consider myself more progressive than a Democrat these days. She's not a bad person. I think that, you know, she has done a lot, and she's done a lot for the things that she's believed in her whole life. I mean, there have been some things that she's consistently stuck to. I think she's been influenced by a lot of money. Like a lot of politicians, she's what the system is built.
I wish you could be influenced with oxygen.
People in general.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
I think part of it is she's been put in a position where she's had to make some of the uglier choices.
Yes.
And make Bernie, you know, he's always consistently been this person, and he might
He's
not
been
have
the
ever had
shining
to
light,
face that,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, she's been the first lady, and she has had to do what she had to do to get, you know, her husband on. And so she's probably been exposed to more things than Bernie has been having to make the hard choices. I mean, being Secretary of State, I'm sure there's a lot of compromises that you have to make even in your own value system.
Well, I mean, in being a politician, it would be very hard. It'd be a very tumultuous position. However, hasn't she been pushed out of a lot of, or fired from a lot of positions that she's been in? And maybe that's because of her political views and what she believes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too. I mean, just hearing like from an insider that worked for her, like, you know, he's out there campaigning for her right now. And it's kind of funny, you know, I'm not going to be Bernie, he's out there for Hillary. And I understand, you know, he worked for her and he saw how she actually is working for, like working under her. And I can respect that, you know, and she's certainly not a bad person in any sense of the word. I think that she represents the system as it is today, which is unfortunately very influenced heavily by corporate donors, and that's
Such as Trump, as we found out on the last debate.
yeah, you know, but he can make some phone calls, right? And he's got some powerful friends, so
Yeah, but he had no idea about the campaign.
Yes.
Nothing, he knows nothing about it.
he's not gonna like not take their endorsement, but he's I'm not quite too sure about that yet. How are you not sure about that? That is probably the most famous, like, you know, hate organization in this country.
He doesn't know who they are.
Sure.
Yeah.
His hat's probably sitting inside of his closet. That was a gift. It was a gift I got from somebody else.
I didn't know where
I thought it was a
I
costume.
don't know what it's
you
for.
know? Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about or what Bernie and his party's thoughts are on the education of Native Americans, more specifically within Maine?
I haven't worked on it. I work national stuff. I haven't really focused on anything in Maine. But as far as education goes, I think that we saw President Obama realized like how bad it was in the state, like for BIE schools and the state of education in the country generally. And he pushed his administration, like what we saw was funding the administration and then giving the tribe the right to run its own schools, so self-determination, which I think is the right path. I don't think it's the right path to continue with the federal government run our schools. Like, it's just not. They're not doing a good job. There's like all these cracks that are like all this money's falling through. Letting them do things in their own way and educate their students in a culturally appropriate, tribal specific way, I think is the future. That is how it's going to be in this, you know, I'm continuing that mindset. I think that that's the right way, is by allowing the communities to do what they want with the funds they have. I do think education is a treaty guaranteed thing, right? It really is.
It should be.
It should be, but a lot of our students are struggling now because, like, our Native American tuition waiver isn't necessarily in legislation and it's not law. A lot of it has to do with the budgets of the individual schools, and oftentimes that's the first thing that they chip away at. So a lot of our students are oftentimes in a worse position by going to post-secondary ed rather than not doing it because of the amount of loans and just the amount of debt that they're taking on, and then will they actually get a job afterward in that field because of how Maine treats its Maine people.
So, I mean, we know that Bryce got the free college thing, right? And so we had to actually go back and forth, and, you know, it's been interesting, you know, so I'm a tribal attorney, we got a couple other, you know, attorneys, we all know this really, really well, they don't know it at all, right? They're just like, okay, we're gonna do taxes and help you with, like, you know, making sure we can pay for it. For the college thing, they had to, like, figure it out internally, tribal colleges, because they're different, right? Like how it works, they're included, so they are included in his platform for full
Right,
college.
we don't
funding.
have any tribal colleges in Maine. However, when I speak of the Native American tuition waiver, and you're probably
Oh,
familiar
you're,
with it.
yeah,
Yeah,
so like Michigan
just-
where you get, yeah,
Yeah,
but I
so
mean,
it's
he's got a
just-
tuition waiver for everybody.
For everybody, right.
It's his tuition waiver is for everyone, it's not just for specific, if you wanna go to a four-year school, you can go to a four-year
Right.
school, and that's the way it should be. I
Well,
mean,
the aimer that I saw earlier, he said, I would rather see this country go broke than into college, I just want to die.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I've spent 7 years, I've had people that I've known die, and our country's going broke. And so, Native Americans face, I mean, we have out in our front lobby some really dire stats about this tribe specifically. But, education, diabetes, there's a lot of, you know, things that tend to coincide with being Native American. And like lack of education being, you know, one of the big ones. But he sort of has a blanket plan to leave tuition for everybody.
I think that's like, if that were to ever actually happen, like if he were to become president and that happened, that would be incredible. I mean, that would even the playing field, or at least attempt to, in such a significant way. I mean, I'm the first person in my family to go to college, and I'm incredible from it, right? Even with scholarships and all that stuff, it's still, it's expensive, you know, it's super expensive, especially when you're going by yourself, you gotta pay for housing. I went to law school on top of that, it's crazy expensive, and it's like, how can you be, you know, graduating at 26, 27 years old with $200,000 of debt, you know? Like, that just sets you up for a whole life of
Struggling.
It's also-
struggling. Yeah, it's like people are like, oh, Sarah, you're a lawyer. I'm like, yeah, well, I have a student loan payment that's pretty, it's about as much as rent, so.
The problem was not always necessarily paying for college, because here a lot of us have been able to use the tuition waiver. I went to private college, so I ended up in debt from that. But I've noticed, I went to college a long time, and a lot of what the struggle is, you know, the cultural differences. There's not a big support system. I went to a fancy college where every Native American that was also there from the state of Maine ended up dropping out within the first and second year because they didn't feel supported. And they were, you know, Native students that had grown up at a low socioeconomic status surrounded by privileged white kids. And so that was a struggle, and I went through that struggle personally. So I think part of, you know, that education system, the support isn't just this blanket tuition waiver, it's supporting the cultural differences. And that's not just for Native Americans, but I hope that, you know, he seeks out ways to support minorities in general as they go into college.
I think he's becoming very, he said they quickly become adept at navigating all the different minorities of color, like all the different communities of color. He's been a long time advocate, you know, of certain communities, but he's not an advocate of all of us, and that's something that's new as he's become a presidential candidate. Yeah, I mean, culturally specific programming, it's very.
The living the dropout rate is almost.
Oh, yeah,
like,
no, I mean.
that's harder than getting people into college now, getting them to stay there, getting them to finish.
In my own program, we had, I think, almost half of us dropped out after the first year or year and a half. I mean, it's just, it's a different world.
And that dropout rate is significantly higher in the American population.
Oh, yeah, it's like half a program. For us, it was like almost half a program, and then some other people came from, like, you know, bigger numbers. There's, at this point, all I've seen is that people want to use tuition waiver across the board. I hadn't seen anything about culturally specific funding tied into that, it's just been tuition waiver, which, you know, that's a huge talking point for the GOP, right? Like, how could you dare, how dare you do this, you can't pay for this, it's like, well, how much did we spend on defense last year? How much, more than the next 6 countries or 12 countries combined? I mean, it's
Oh, I watched gross misuse of funds just in my. I mean, we go out for joyrides on a convoy, and our trucks get 2 miles per gallon, so for that cost, we have, you know, an entire convoy. And and we've got nothing better to do during drills than to drive around, ruining the environment and burning money. And, you know, they could find, this is just my own personal, like, they could find plenty of things for us to be doing during drill weekend that helps within the community. I'm a strong community service advocate, and I just watch people burn money all over this, while destroying the environment.
And I don't
I hate our
know, I don't know personally, like, how, like, you know, defense has been, at least from the tax attorneys, that's been like a strong point of, this is where we can pay for these things. And I don't know if that comes from him working with the VA and seeing like the other side of it, which is, so we're not taking care of our soldiers, we're not taking care of them when they come back. We're wasting all this money in other, you know, government contracts and things like that beforehand, and funding ourselves and doing privatized, you know, everything. I'm guessing that's probably where it comes from. I'm not entirely sure. Knowing Marie, seeing his other platforms, I'm guessing that's probably what it is. Is that it takes them off to see this waste beforehand and then not the current back end.
It's really clear that he's a social injustice advocate because he's protecting the people that all the votes combined aren't going to probably make that much of a difference. Like, he's such a strong veterans advocate, which speaks to my heart. And, you know, they're not the biggest population. He's the biggest population, but he's fighting the fight for all of us anyway.
The smallest population, right? I mean, we're like
1%.
Yeah, we're 1%. But yeah, it's been incredible to see him care.
So did our ancestors. I have to get going. I don't want to be rude, but she's tired and I've got a 5-year-old at my mom's that's waiting to go home. But thank you so much for traveling here to be with us. And the director for the McMakin Department, Nicole's the CEO for the Penobscot Boys and Girls Club. Samantha, is it? But I just wanted to mention in the last year since I've come on board that our programs were able to fund going to DC for Generation Indigenous, and we were able to bring a lot of youth down there, you know, almost every. And when I'm listening to all this, I'm thinking about our youth, and that if Donald Trump were to somehow become president, what that's going to do to them, and how to be an advocate for them, even if that does come to pass. But I'll be praying for me going.
As I understand
My
it,
children will not let
most
me
of our
not work
programs.
this time.
I mean, as I understand it, Trump will fund most of our programs, like just across the board. So, Generation Indigenous is important. I think it needs to be strengthened, and that's what I push for. So, I think it was a good step in the right direction, but I think we need to go further.
Oh yeah, definitely. I just noticed it the last year though that.
Oh yeah,
I
it
get
means a
so
lot.
many
It
emails
means a
now,
lot.
and from different, like the First Nations, because, you know, we're trying to apply for money there, and trying to make it so that those grant programs that are out there for, you know, our youth are actually being used the way they're supposed to.
I feel like sometimes that we're some of the most underfunded programs out there to serve some of the biggest populations where we are. You know, we have the youth program here. I have 4, actually 5, but 4 native different boys and girls clubs that serves over 450 students in the state of Maine, which is huge because it impacts all of the tribes. So what is his thoughts on the support for boys and girls clubs or youth at the various tribes? Does he touch on it? Does he have any passion about this? Because we impact them from such an early age, and we really develop them into who they are in all kinds of different areas.
So if you look into, I believe the one that's up right now is his criminal justice platform. And a lot of the themes that you see are heavy focus on education, a heavy focus on community building. Increasing, you know, incarceration, things like that's not going to work. I mean, that's not going to solve anything. We need to focus on our youth. That's really the most. That's where you get the most effectiveness, right? Is by stopping at a very early age and understanding that they maybe don't have the best infrastructure at home either. They don't have the network to support them, and so by creating, you know, community initiatives that are very strongly funded, creating educational
Instead of reactive.
so that's a theme. You'll see throughout all of them a theme, and that's going to be in ours as well. I think he gets it. He definitely gets it.
So within his platform, has he ever specifically spoken regarding Native American problems that he had to tackle, things that he's been made aware of?
In his existing platforms, well, so he's got a whole Native American specific platform. That's the one that I worked on that has not been released yet. And that is specific to tribal nations. It's a whole thing that's just for us.
Can you enlighten us?
I've been trying to tell you like parts of it,
Okay.
because it's not public, so I can't say anything that he has not actually said. It's supposed to come out, first we were promised, so it got submitted on Sunday, it was supposed to come out on Friday, but then he needed to get briefed on it, like, to actually understand like what, you know what I mean, what's all in it, like how it works. And so it's his inner circle of consultants that have to brief him on it, and then it'll go up. So we've got the platform, we've got the press release, we've got quotes from different tribal leaders that, you know, have seen and endorsed. I think it'll be good. I've got some feedback on it. So it's much more progressive than any other platform. Yeah. I mean, I said to these guys, the fact that even like someone like me was like, you know, this. I'm not like, you know what I mean, I'm a pretty, I guess, radical attorney. I fully understand the, you know, as many issues as I possibly can. You know, I try to understand like what's really going on, and the things I've seen working in DC have been pretty disappointing and depressing. You know, and I think we have a long ways to go, and I think holding our leaders accountable is important. And for you guys sound like you're very creative. Your hands are tied with the state. That's crazy.
Yeah, and even when we seek federal ones.
I can't believe you got a meeting. That's
Well, we did get one meeting, but it was pointless because she rerouted us to the governor. She chose to start with the governor.
What does it have to do with the level of federal like, representation?
Exactly, especially when what we're saying is that, you know, we're not equal to the state.
Mm-hmm.
No, we shouldn't, if
have to deal with that.
if that's an option for us, if we
Mhm.
wanted even to, you know, entertain LePage in his office.
Mhm.
But as a tribe, a sovereign tribe, which we're really not, but, you know, we have sovereign rights.
Mhm.
And we should be able to sit at the table with Senator Collins and say, this is what we want. Because you have a trust responsibility to the federal government, and, you know, we're a working government. But that's not how the state sees it. You know, we can't even get with our water rights and issues. You know, just recently the EPA stepped up and actually helped, but we were fighting with them for over 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, and the EPA just basically said, well, you know, gave us the shrug. That's basically what they did.
I'm certainly going to take back the Settlement Act. I mean, that needs to be, you know, I don't know where that would fit in with his talking points that he gives to like rallies. Those are pretty set. I mean, that sticks exactly in the Bernie Sanders message, right? Which is equality, you know, oppressed people and environmental justice. But something like
I think raising awareness though.
raising awareness and also approaching him as Senator Sanders is a little bit different conversation. So.
You think to bring awareness and to put LePage under a microscope for letting this Settlement Act continue to oppress so many people?
Yeah.
I think putting him under the microscope, not that he seems to care, but maybe.
He's pretty proud of being like, what is it, predecessor to Trump? Like, that's what he was saying, like, I'm going to show Trump how to do it. Wow, all right. I knew about your governor before he came here, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
We have some people support him.
Yeah.
Okay, Lauren.
See, like next door to us, like Wisconsin, like went crazy. Like they used to be like Minnesota, and then all of a sudden it was like Scott Walker was in there, and like all these teachers were going on strike. And I'm like, what is going on in Wisconsin? Like,
Yeah.
you guys went off the rails. And it sounds like LePage is. I thought Maine was kind of more of a moderate state. He's not a moderate person.
It's Donald Trump on a lower level. Less authority, a little less.
Less authority, same ego.
have absolutely no shame for, like, the things that they do or say. Donald Trump has said the most shameful shit
Oh, yeah.
on TV. And you just wonder how it's even allowable that anybody would vote for him. And I see it all over my social media. I actually have friends, especially being in the military. So many of my friends are conservatives. And I see it everywhere. I voted for Trump in the caucus yesterday. I'm like, this
It's
is
been
a
helpful
thing.
with defriending people, like I found that, like I'm like, oh, defriend.
I try to consider myself respectful of differences, but how can you vote for the devil? That's just pretty much where I'm at. I don't care if you're conservative or you're a Republican, you voted for somebody who would hurt others.
I'm
And has
respectful of
no
other
shame.
opinions, I'm respectful of people that are ignorant of institutional racism. I understand that for some people, they feel like they're being oppressed, even though actually the whole time they've been the oppressor. I know there's like equality happening, and they're like, oh, this isn't fair. Like, actually, yeah, it is. This is what equality actually means. I can understand that. I cannot understand some of the things I see that are just straight up, just hatred, and that's not. It's different. Is there anything else you guys want me to take back? Anything?
It doesn't have, I'm, not part of the Native community. I work with this, but I'm Jewish.
You've seen the meme of like, you know, that one non-native kid that lives on the res, right? Like, it's like a kid that's like, yeah,
You know,
it's
like,
great.
I was joking that I'm gonna be voting for him because he's gonna be the first elected president. Not Hillary, she's, never mind. The healthcare thing is the most important thing to me, and I just don't see him talking well enough about it. Like, he started to say a bit more like the tax increase would replace premiums and cost us less, which makes perfect sense. It will. It does in every other country that has a similar system. It doesn't need to be purely single payer, but when you're, you know, the private insurance insurance companies can exist as nonprofits on the side as they do in other. But anyway, I wish he would just talk more about it and then simultaneously talk about how lowering healthcare costs, which are bankrupting the country. They are. We're gonna like surpass 20% of our GDP very soon. Together with increasing the minimum wage and the issue of wage stagnation, because the healthcare premiums that have been increasing, and we've been paying these CEOs like their $30 million salaries, have contributed to wage stagnation. So the wage issue and the healthcare cost issue go together, and he needs to do a better job talking about that. He has not done it. Like the first few times I saw him talk about healthcare, where they asked him why single payer failed in Vermont. First of all, what ended up happening was because they were really getting their hands tied. They weren't even going to be able to pass a single payer system. It wasn't really single payer. And his answer was, you'll have to ask the governor of Vermont, or I don't know, I'm not the governor of Vermont. I was like, I wanted to kill him because I love him so much, but it's like, that's not a good answer. Like, he needs to talk about this better and talk about wages and how it would help the economy and help people. All of us, like this community too, like everybody in the country. Like, I just wish, I wrote a whole blog post about it. I tweeted it. Of course, I didn't think anyone would read it.
There's about like 15 different staffers or nothing, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I've seen Sanders that he has these, you know, he has these really great ideas, and I know on the back end that, you know, when I had to explain to them how IHS exists, and they didn't know anything about IHS, like how it worked at all, you know, and I had to explain to them, okay, so picture the VA. It's a federally run like hospital system. Now picture the VA, but even funded goes in the VA. Like picture a system that is, you know, staffing's terrible. They are not accountable. We've got an IHS hearing that just happened where it was supposed that 2 babies dropped in 9 months is not that bad on the floor. And like, how is this the state of our healthcare? I mean, how can you actually say that?
We can really keep people open.
Yeah.
We're looking into doctors.
So I know on the back end that his, you know, the people that are helping him draft these policies and do what he wants them to, what he wants them to do, they know how it runs. Getting it into his stump speech is a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Like that's a
I
little bit harder.
just wish just a few more sentences would just, you know, like covering together, because he wants to increase the wages to 15, the minimum wage to 15. You can increase wages if you take the burden off of employers from providing you know, doing the cost sharing and healthcare premiums. It's getting out of hand, it's been out of hand for a long time, and he needs to, just 2 sentences to talk more, a little more about it, how it really impacts us, because, you know, there are all these conservatives running around saying like, I'm not gonna pay for your health care, and you are. It's in your property taxes, it's in your loss of wages, like, if he could just take 2 sentences to say that, I just wish he
The
would.
flight debate is tomorrow. I guarantee they're gonna be talking at least 1 or 2 questions about healthcare, because like,
Yeah.
and his positions are different.
Yeah, her position, I mean,
She changed on that.
she did change, yeah. I wish she wouldn't stick to the Obamacare thing, because that hasn't done anything to control cost, and I don't know if she gets elected and tries to continue with it, how much longer do we have to suffer? Like, that's my question.
Yeah.
Like, my
my,
deductible is $5,000, you know?
My Canadian relatives think we're barbaric, just saying they're like,
Yeah,
when I
no,
go to
it is,
the,
it's
when
a
I'm sick, I just go to the doctor.
No,
Like,
it's a barbaric
I know.
system, yeah.
I know. Yeah, no, and I mean, they're looking at us like, a lot of our family, you know, they like Bernie a lot, right? But they're also like, how is Trump a
It's
candidate?
America.
I keep saying.
Y'all
like,
are racist, but not nearly as racist as us.
That's how he's
Yeah.
a candidate,
Well, no,
money.
you know how like the conspiracy theorists are like, you know, we want you to pay attention to the left hand so you don't see what the right hand's doing. And then like, when Trump made it as a candidate, I'm like, this has to be like true. Like, this has to be true. They want us to focus on this bad little, like just standing up there blurting out whatever for some reason. Like, maybe the apocalypse, they've already known that the apocalypse is gonna come, they don't want us to know this. There's got to be a reason. I find it hard to believe that they would allow that.
Well, they're trying their hardest right now. Like, I mean, the Republican Party is scrambling, right? Like, they're trying to figure out how to stop this person.
Oh my God, yeah.
They're scared.
I mean, they actually think that I can see talking of like party splitting and like all these things. I'm like, I don't think it's gonna split.
Well, could you imagine, like, him talking to Putin, the way he does? What would that do? Can you imagine that? It's like, that's my biggest fear, it's like,
Talking to who?
Putin.
They like each other.
He's a Canadian, first of all.
It's
so
in
I would say
Putin's
no.
best interest to have Trump.
I don't know.
Unless,
scary.
unless he says something.
And
to
then
make
they
Trump-
disagree,
They're gonna
yeah,
disagree
then
about
what
something.
happens?
He'd be an idiot president. It's perfect for Putin.
So please try to get people out to conference tomorrow. Either way, it doesn't need to be Bernie, it doesn't need to be, you
I'm
know.
gonna cart people around in my car, I'm even gonna clean it. Yes, like that's how important it's about cleaning my car.
It's important for people to get out and get involved.
You wanna all stand, maybe like, we'll get all a picture together so we can
He said he's not gonna do that.
post it on our.
But he did say that he's gonna go all the way to convention.
For instance, if he gets the popular vote in the primaries, then the super delegates
For Facebook.
Well, we have to do
He
these
said he's
things,
not saying
PR.
Even if he gets, it's just
I still like it. PR.
it's so unfair.
He said he will go all the way.
She's not
to
asking for herself, she knows that I'm
convention,
gonna make her get
and
one
I'm thinking
She's
if,
just doing my job.
if he's able to continue showing that he is a viable candidate, I mean, if you take the super delegates, they're neck and neck.
Yeah.
And so if he continues that path, like those super delegates are not committed, right? Like they're just saying like, this is who I'm thinking of, and if they don't vote till the convention, so.
I'm gonna teach us on Nebraska.
Yay!
Did I have much? I don't
Do you think he could have been a rival candidate if he had run just as an independent? Because
No, I don't know, because I mean.
Are we speaking of Bernie?
Yeah, I don't think so, I think there's a lot of Democrats that are, yeah, I think there's a lot of Democrats that are like, progressive socialists,
That's
yeah.
what they label.
The independent socialists, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That would have hurt him.
I got asked that today by some guy that was like talking about who's a Republican. So how, like, the socialist, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's not socialism, like, it's called taking care of your people.
Exactly.
Which is what a government's supposed to do.
We have a bunch of social policies that are working really bad. He's talking about like.
Ones that I said
Or
like.
work for everybody, not just. Yeah, they mentioned us getting squeezed. I'm not looking forward to my future. I'm sorry, I'm so cynical, but I just. this is the
There will
first
be
time-
another version, I'm just saying, there will be, this is a, if anything, this is a, like,
Yeah,
even if he
this
doesn't
started
win, it's
away,
like an
yeah.
inspiration.
Yeah, I hope so,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's hot with Trump, because he just showed you that.
The thing is that part of it is so surreal, like how,
Yeah.
inspiring a person is. Like, when I watch like a video video of him from like 1980s. I was like, goosebumps.
No, I know, I saw like this great little compilation, I was like, yeah, right.
Like, they really trust what you're seeing, you know what I mean? We have the jazz right in front of us. You just see jazz making me.
With wild white hair.
Yeah. This
Sounds like they're, it sounds like they're gay.
Like, this can't be real.
Yeah.
We have to drive all the way back.
You have to drive back tonight?
Yes.
Were you driving Charlie?
Yeah.
She's gonna get us like group picture of everybody. No, some individual ones for social media. Work here.
Oh, geez.
We're gonna be.
Thank you for having me. I really
Yes.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
It's a long way.
Hey, you know what? I've heard the thing before. It's
Yeah.
great. I want to tell your fellas.
Yeah.
Is it long like you're hoping?
Actually, you know, like, so I'm in northern Minnesota, and northern Minnesota is all these like white people, like, you know, right. Yeah, no, it's kind of like, I mean, the ocean is different, obviously, and there's mountains here.
I was actually in South
But
Florida.
everything else. Yeah, so it's, well, where I'm from is like kind of like a mixture of like Southern California, and there's like big trees, but no mountains.
Working.
And did you grow up on the rest?
No, the rest is right across the lake.
I worked
So
in-
I grew up in
really?
Town.
Yeah.
And I went to the school, although.
But they have certain-
I was like, you know, like, my cousin.
That's how
Oh, I
it
don't
is.
get
I was working on it, but, it's very interesting.
What are you doing?
Hey, Bob, can we have Jen with this chair? Huh?
You and Jen playing,
Okay. This- Maybe just turn.
See, that's just very specific, that's just Tara trying to like fancy it up.
There you go.
Tara is like fancier, I'm like, shh.
Oh, but I mean, it's Tara, but I'm not
Yeah,
Sarah.
I'm just saying. There's no Sarahs, there's no Sarahs. It's just Sarah. And Sarah. So I'm convinced that Tara is just charming.
You want us to put metal? Where do you want us?
Yes, just, like her and then her.
But yeah.
She's got my phone, she's like.
Yeah.
So we're all, yeah, we're all. Get in here, guys.
Take a picture, Jazzy. We're still with Daddy. All right.
She wants to get in.
Perfect.
So,
Okay, put them down. All right, thank you. Yay.
Hey. Get Jazzy to say her thing.
Jill, where she did.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
You want to see, oh, can she see the picture?
Community outreach. Okay, so I'm about to, well, the caucus up tomorrow. Wait, stand. Come like forward right here, but not.
First was the second choice.
Yes. You're like, no, that's not working. That's not working. I'm gonna make you do the selfie first. Thank you for coming, really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh,
yeah, right?
Great. This is it. You survived.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to me.
It's been awesome, it's been
All
awesome.
over.
I have seen a lot of me today, and it's been good. It's,
You go over in the daytime,
I saw the sign.
Wait, you're from Minnesota?
Yeah, no, we have moved too.
My name's my dad's from Minnesota.
Yeah, we have a lot less space.
See?
We have climate change, it's a pretty big thing, pretty big thing, only down a big huge lake, and like where our lake, like sturgeon are starting to die out, it's old.
We didn't have a winter this year. We usually get like a nor'easter and some sort of snow, and we didn't have a winter. Our tribal grant writers go off with climate change. And he's always coming in, we have some of our PhD in climate change projects with the local university. So yeah, environmental stuff is huge here. we have environmental lab, we do a lot of private.
When you're from a place like this, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like people ask me, why do you care about the environment? I'm like, I'm from Minnesota. Like all around you, you know what I mean? It's everywhere.
We have little professors, kids studying stuff, seeing how climate change affects our cultural organisms. So that was really interesting. I took him out on this walk and just listening to him talk about some of those things happening. He's not even native, but he cares, just because of the.
You got 2 minutes? Come down here, I want you
Yeah, but I like C. I like C one. Can you really disagree with that? C is a benefit.
Required, and I think the necessity.
You know,
All right, we're gonna shut this off.